What is up, YouTube? This is Hazy Games here with another game review. I am super excited to be reviewing Final Fantasy VII Remake. A little bit of information about my mindset before I began playing this game. I thought that this was Final Fantasy VII remade in its entirety. And last night, when I was streaming on my Twitch channel, I had a viewer in there, luckily, as I beat the game. I was like, that seems like the story is going to continue. Like, this can't be the end of Final Fantasy. And he was like, well, no, they broke it into 3 games. So, my mistake. But the first game that they released was phenomenal. If you haven't played this game, or if you've been thinking about picking up, I would definitely pick it up and definitely play it if you're a fan of Final Fantasy, if you're a fan of JRPGs, if you're a fan of good storytelling in general. Pick this game up. And if you like great music, great graphics, great gameplay, it's just a great game. I 10 out of 10 recommend this game. But anyways, let's get into the review here. As usual, I'm going to stick with my basic criterias and my 10-point scale system. So let's start off with the graphics. I played most of this game in 1440p. I did play some of the earlier game in 4K. But regardless of what resolution I played in, this game was beautiful. It was well done. You play through this game and there are just parts that you run into and you're just like, wow, like, this looks amazing. Like, it's great. Like, these cutscenes are just crazy good. So much talent, so much effort you can tell was put into them, so much love. The cutscenes are just phenomenal. They're so good. So good. I cannot say enough about them. The graphics are they're top notch. It's top notch graphics. I ran into a few issues twice in 45 hours. And I'll get into that when I hit the bugs and glitches at the end. They could potentially screw you up if you're in a battle and it happens. But I'll get into that a little bit later. But graphics, amazing. Yeah, I give graphics 9.5 out of 10. I was going to give it a 10 out of 10. But like I said, I had those couple glitches that I ran into. But yeah, 9.5 out of 10 graphics. Moving on to gameplay. The gameplay of this is great. I thought it was good. It was fun. It was enjoyable. It was challenging at times. It was easy at times. It was middle of the road. I just think they scaled the difficulty of the boss fights and encounters in general throughout the game very well. It didn't feel like I was ever super overpowered, except maybe a few instances. But when you get to the bosses, most of the bosses are going to kind of make you think about how you fight them. And that's all I'm going to say, because I don't want to reveal too many spoilers with any of that. I don't want to go too much into depth. But yes, the boss fights, the mechanics to the boss fights, and the encounters throughout the game, even like little scrub minions. Some of those encounters were interesting. Just good gameplay. I'll say one thing about the boss fights. The boss fights were amazing because they had different phases, and the phases were unique. Now, not all bosses do. Some bosses don't. So it kind of keeps you on your feet. You know, like, oh, I just beat this boss, but oh, nope, you didn't. Next phase. So yeah, they keep you on your feet. Gameplay, 9 out of 10. Moving on to characters and the story. character development, voice acting, dialogue, the emotion that was put in to the characters and their dialogue and the facial expressions, top notch. Great job by the development team. The story is good. I'm a little confused in the story, but I'm not going to dive too much into that. But I myself was a little confused, but I think you're kind of supposed to be a little bit, because it's been years since I played I didn't play the original. It's been years since I watched the original and knew about the story in the original. So it's a little, yeah, but it's good. The story is great. Like the story, I kept wanting more. I kept wanting to play the game, learn more about the story, learn more about the characters, learn more about the world. So, I mean, honestly, I'm going to give characters and story a 10 out of 10. That's my first 10 out of 10 for this game. Final Fantasy here. Yeah, 10 out of 10 characters and story. The next subject is like my favorite thing about Final Fantasy games, and it never seems to disappoint. The sound and music, specifically the music, the score in this game, like, it's crazy good. The music was great. I loved it all. It's on par with other Final Fantasy games that have amazing music. I mean, I would say the majority of every Final Fantasy game that I've played so far, I've played 1 through 9 now after beating this. Well, I haven't played the original 7, so I don't know the entire story of Final Fantasy 7. So 1 through 9, but I've only played the remake of 7. But yeah, I mean, all the games that I've played, great music. Just good music. And even then, going back to like Final Fantasy 1 and 2, just the great nostalgia that those tracks and scores have. So music and sound, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Next subject is replayability. I don't know. The replayability. I mean, yeah, you could run through it again. It is a good time. You could run through the chapters on the hard mode that they offer after you beat the game on normal. But, I mean, me personally, I'm probably not going to play through the main story again. I have so many other games in my backlog that I'm trying to get through. So for me, and this is really kind of an opinion thing as well, replayability specifically for me, I give it a 7 out of 10. And I don't want that to take anything away from the game, because it is a great game and I think everybody should experience this. It's a great story. If you like story-driven games, great game. Last but not least, bugs and glitches. And like I said earlier when I was discussing the graphics, this isn't a huge deal, but it could potentially frustrate you and potentially ruin a battle you're in. So there was 2 times when I was fighting in battle where, for whatever reason, the screen would turn completely white. And there was no way for me to get rid of it. Even if I couldn't get to options, I couldn't see my character. Like, this whole screen was just white. Even if you hit start or pause, nothing, white. And that happened twice. And once was when I was fighting Sephiroth in the end. And they went white, and I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, are you serious? Is this really how this battle is gonna end right now? With a bug and a glitch? Luckily, I don't know what I did. The white screen went away, and it was back to normal. And everything played out fine. But those could be 2 potentially big issues, especially if they're happening in battles, and I don't know what causes them. I have no idea. Let me know down in the comments if you've experienced the white screen bug or glitch. I'd love it if you would like and subscribe. I appreciate you all stopping by and checking out my videos, and I will see you guys next time.